10 signs you are Latino. There are several evident characteristics that will give a Latinx away in 22 hundredths of a second, such as someone informing you that their name is Maria Altagracia del Carmen Nuez. Other characteristics aren't quite as blatant, yet they're nonetheless easily recognizable as belonging to a Latino. Let's have some fun as we go through this list of the 10 most common clues that indicate you are Latinx and finally get to the bottom of the truth behind them as it relates to us. It's possible that by the time you finish watching this video, you'll learn that you have more Latinx heritage than you previously thought. 10. Your whole existence is built around superstitions that are taken to extremes. Almost all Latinos subscribe to various forms of superstition. It usually starts from grandparents telling kids about not to step under a ladder to avoid bad fortunes. And the interesting superstitions travel from generation to generation. Another Latin superstition is about sharing food you're having with a pregnant woman, if one's nearby. According to the notion, failing to do so might cause you to have sty. 9. Most people you know are great cooks. It is completely absurd to believe that all women of Latino descent are skilled chefs. People have a tendency to believe that Latinos are all naturally better in the kitchen due to the fact that Latino households are still quite conventional, particularly in regards to the preparation of a large number of home-cooked meals. However, this is not always the case for all Latinos. Many Latin people, especially the younger generation, are quite heavily dependent on having food from the outside. But that still doesn't mean that they wouldn't know a thing or two about cooking a meal themselves. To tell you the truth, we cannot think of a single person who does not believe that the meal prepared by their Latina mother is among the very greatest food in the world. If you can't either, congratulations, you're Latin. During the process of writing the last phrase, we had the sudden realization that it is in fact the children who are to blame for everyone thinking that Latina mothers are in fact the finest chefs in the world. What do you think? 8. No one has dance moves like you do. A Latino home party is not considered to be a party until the music is blaring, a 3-year-old is bouncing wildly in some side of the sala, and an elderly relative is spinning by themselves in the opposite corner, eager to keep the celebration going till the sun comes up. You are supposed to be dancing in the womb if you identify as Latino or Latina. In such case, you are the social outsider, and even people of other nationalities may mistrust your motives. However, this does not imply that every Latina is capable of busting a move to flamenco, salsa or bachata. Thus, you should quit asking every Latino individual you come in contact with to show you how to move with Spanish music. 7. You spend your entire weekend mornings cleaning up. If you wake up on a Saturday morning to find your mother playing music, you know exactly what that means. A marathon session of housework. If your mother didn't really wake you up by ordering you to get out of bed and get one of the Scoobies, she probably would go to the additional effort of purposefully creating more noise near the door to your room. Watch out for that. If that wasn't enough to gain your attention, she might even make the noise on purpose. Even though the floor is perfectly clean, if your mother sees even the tiniest particle of dirt on it, she will accuse you of not having cleaned the home and will have you do community service. Never in your life should you admit to your Hispanic mother that you are uninterested or taking it easy. If there is even the tiniest crumb of food remaining on your plate after you have finished eating, people will automatically think that there is something wrong with you. Additionally, if your plate isn't completely clean, your grandparents probably won't allow you to drink anything because they believe it will make you too full to eat and they don't want you to waste food. 6. Chancleta is among the deadliest weapons in the world. Whether you are of Latino descent or not, we are quite certain that you are familiar with the dreadful chancla, flip-flops that are common in Latino families. The truth is that if you didn't clean your room when your mother asked you to, or if you closed your bedroom door a little bit too loudly, you had better duck because your mother and her chancla are probably just an inch away from hovering next to you and landing on your body. It's not enough for Hispanic mothers to shout at their children when they get into trouble. They take action, even when you're crying and at your most vulnerable. Also, if you've ever received a chancleta strike, you'd know it's wise not to weep but demonstrate that you're sorry for your actions anyhow. If it's unclear, you must comply by these rules or you'll have the chancleta danger looming over your head. 5. Old school overprotection, which is sweet, most of the time. It makes no difference whether you are 15 years old or 25 years old. If you still reside in the house of your Latino parents, you will be expected to abide by their rules at all times, even with the bedtime and your own bedroom. 4. Your normal volume is an 18, which is based on a scale from 1 to 10. The majority of people that identify as Hispanic simply and naturally have a higher volume when they talk compared to a typical person. This is frequently accompanied with pride in one's Latino heritage. Latin people are never afraid of hiding their exotic accents with a low volume. 3. Your extended family is so big, you forget the names sometimes. Going to a Latin family dinner with the entire family present is just next to impossible. Why? Because there's a high chance that you have hundreds of first and second cousins across at least 3 different countries: Cuba, Ecuador, or maybe Spain too. You probably have all of them on Facebook, but that doesn't mean it's not difficult to recall their names sometimes. When you are Hispanic, every other person turns out to be your primo. It's possible that your Tío Bobby and your Tía Cristina, both of whom you've only seen twice, were the ones who changed your nappies and looked after you when you were a baby. Having a large family is important to most Latin people. However, this does not indicate that it is the case for everyone. There is a growing trend among Latinas to be content with having just one kid, and although this is by no means as frequent with Latinx people, some Latinas are now even choosing not to have any children at all. 2. There is no other language spoken in your household but Spanglish. Spanglish has established itself as a main language for a great number of individuals, particularly the elder generation of Hispanics. It blends the lexicon of English and Spanish, often producing new terms in the process, such as printer, which means printing. Just as you know, that particular term does not exist in the Spanish language. 1. The invention of Vicks VapoRub was the next greatest thing to sliced bread. You already know that you had to begin with the much-loved VapoRub, since everyone thinks that Latinos, and particularly Latina mothers, believe that VapoRub is the remedy for just about everything. They don't believe that VapoRub is the cure-all for everything, after all, which is why they also have coconut oil. One thing we would say is that if you have VapoRub and coconut oil in your house, you are pretty much ready for anything that might happen. Nothing is more likely to heal a skinned knee, a bruised ego, or a congested nose than putting a little Viva Puru onto it while chanting Sana Sana Kulita Dorana. Neither will there be anything else that will make a shattered heart feel good too, by the way. Since the beginning of time, Hispanic families have brought up their kids in the very same manner. Even Hispanics who were reared in various places throughout the globe frequently have the same peculiarities and a quirky sense of humour. Thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe, comment, and turn on the notification bell. This is Learning Canteen.